Happy Freedom Day to everybody. I'm just like, I like to analyze everything. Since I was born, I always ask, okay, so why did you name me Liberty? First and foremost, what does liberty mean? They told me liberty means freedom. That was in school, at Kureza Primary School. And I say, okay, so what does freedom mean? They say freedom means you're free. But then I was still young to go further to understand what actually being free means. But living life, 17 years in Zimbabwe, now almost 20 years in South Africa, you see a lot. And you define freedom your way, the way you live it, the way you have experienced it. So I've got pointers that are pointed that I want to just point out regarding freedom. But then I've got a little piece that I wrote, which I think is important to me, and it may help other people. So freedom is awarded to someone who isn't free. So it's clear we perhaps may all be slaves to the system or something that we seek freedom from. Daily I live free, or I want to think I do. So why would I need one day in a year to somehow feel or express how free I am unless I am a slave? Free from what exactly? Freedom is state of mind and liberty to be me. Say what I feel. Express that in the form I want. I'm not free to be stronger. I practice my inner ability to know my strength is within. Silent and always free from all these human movements and sophistications. I am free to know I am not free physically, but in forever I'll always have internal peace, which is a characteristic of freedom given since birth. Let me repeat that last line. I am free to know that I am not free physically, but in forever I'll always have internal peace, which is a characteristic of freedom given since birth. So, freedom. Are you at liberty to be yourself? Are you free to be yourself? Are you free from financial problems? Because freedom is one word, but you have to break it apart to actually bring the true sense of what freedom is. So freedom for a European will be definitely different to freedom for an African. So, are you free from slavery mentally and physically? Are you free from that? Does your mind mentally think and focus? Are you free from self-expression? Can you express yourself freely without feeling anxieties or without feeling something is stopping you from expressing how you should be? Are you free from self-development without worrying of others' influence? Are you free to define, redefine, make, create yourself without worrying about what the next person is going to think about that? Are you free to travel around the world? Part of financial freedom. So how free really are you? Are you free to recognize those who are not free? Because if you are free, then you have peace. Peace peace brings freedom to understand that the person is not free. They necessarily don't have to be in chains or in slave mode. Just by looking at them, you can see that. Are you free to free others from all sorts of issues? So if you're telling me that you're free, that means you can do all those things. Are you free to call right from wrong? Wrong from right. Are you free to understand that you are not free? So, this is what you're free to do. You're not free, but you are free to self-disrespect. So you can choose to not do that. You are free to self-destruct. So again, be cautious in how you handle all faculties and everything. Because while saying one is free, one can self-destruct. You are free to self-humiliate, to humiliate your people. System is set up this way. You are free to feel how you feel. Whether you are sad, whether you are happy, you are free to do that. You are free to cry about your issues. And perhaps, maybe, someone will hear you cry. You are free to complain about politics and vote with no change. You are free to do that. You are free to think for yourself. You are free to blame others and yourself, while you are free to free your mind and your atmosphere. So then freedom is a lot of factors. So how can 90% of African people be free? How can majority of South Africans, be it whatever race you are, be free? There's so many factors that does not allow you to have this freedom. It's not just financial. You can have freedom with no money. If you live in a state or in a place that does not really use money in that way. Those are rural areas. Most of the times they do better trade. Hence why I'm urging most Zimbabweans to just rather go home, because then you'll be free to do a few things that you can never do in Mzansi, for example. And these examples, they even go further from just being a Zimbabwean. But true story, I am coming today, which is Freedom Day, after I thought about all these things, and I'm like, I wasn't actually going to light up the camera at all, because I need a break. I'm busy. The students needs my attention all the time. The community, the developments. We're busy out here. So I passed through the Caltex garage. True story. I don't tell stories unless they're really true. And they're worth speaking about. And this is something that I've been worried about. And I'm going to actually need Zimbabwean embassy and Zimbabwean government to start to communicate with people like myself so that we can help a few people repatriate back home. So as I'm passing through Caltex garage, I do my normal rounds, I get my coffee, I speak to my peoples. We had a few laughs there. And then one of my bro's friend, he called me like, Lit, there's a lady out here. Something is wrong. Can you come and check it out? So I go outside there. And then there's this lady there. She's sitting there. And she's pregnant. I'm sure she's age range 18, maybe 21. And from talking to this lady, she's pregnant. She's wearing what looks to be flip-flops, wearing socks in the street, with a short dress, a little jersey, it's cold, chilly, a little clothes parcel and what looks to be a little blanket, no money. I don't know what's wrong with this lady. She has this little jar. I'm sorry, it's disgusting. She keeps on opening it up and spitting, opening it up and spitting. Then I'm asking her, what's your problem? Why are you here? Apparently, she got impregnated by a Nigerian. That's her story, allegedly. And now she's looking for Nigerians. So I said, but you are a Zimbabwean. Why are you looking for Nigerians? He said, no, there's always a problem when I stay with the Zimbabweans or someone who's not Nigerian, because it's like the soul of the child don't want that. Me, I'm like, what is this? True story. If I lie, I die. Then I'm like, okay, so you can't stay with the Zimbabweans. She said, no, I have a problem if I stay with the Zimbabweans. I said, okay, then we need to take you then to the Nigerian embassy. They need to vet you and understand your story, but you still have a fetus in the stomach. This is not a child yet. You know, you're pregnant, but the child is not yet here. So they can do DNA, I'm sure, after the child is born, but I don't speak that. So how are you going to help your situation at this stage? No, I don't know. So what I figured out from this lady now is, while she's so young, she got into, I'm sure, modeling. Like a few young people, they want to be on the camera. They want to be famous, you know. So they're doing few things out there which are almost breaking their mental system of how they focus. I don't want to go too deep into this. There's certain rituals people that are doing out there, which some think they'll get money or they'll make money. So according to what she's saying, people do not like her, according to her. She lives in one of the high-density areas here, Akayamandi. So she says she's a model, and people don't like her now. So she has to find these Nigerians so that they can help her. But then I say, look, it's not going to work like that. One thing I can do is we can organize you right now, right here. Tomorrow that you are in a bus, back to Zimbabwe. No, she don't want that. Not right now. She wants a place to stay, according to what she's saying. Then later on, when she's about to give birth, then she wants to go to Zimbabwe and say, it doesn't make sense. Excuse me. It doesn't make sense because right now, you are in the streets. You're at the garage. You are pregnant. You have got nowhere to go. So, what is the plan of action, lady? She said, take me to SABC. No lie. So I can tell my story. I said, what will you tell at SABC? Are you the first pregnant lady in South Africa? Are you the first pregnant Zim lady in South Africa who's at a garage, stuck? What if SABC comes? What is SABC going to say? What is SABC going to do? So for people out there who think that you're going to be helped by SABC, by ENCA, by Newsroom Africa, stop this. Find your mental ability, if you can, to find your way home. Because the state this lady is in, she needs to be home in the comfort of people who love her. But going further with this story, I told her, no, I cannot be taking you to SABC. What's wrong with you? What am I going to say there? And what about the South Africans who are suffering and struggling here? What would they think that you're doing on SABC? So I said, no, lady, I'm going to help you to go home. That's what I'm going to help you with. I can help you to go home. She don't want to go home. So then, these rituals that she did, apparently, allegedly, somehow confused the mind now. Because from talking to her, I was getting all different types of stories and stuff like that. Moral of this story, Zimbabwe, we have a problem. I always knew we have a problem. And Stellenbosch is not one of those places whereby you can get stuck in the streets and stuff like that. It's a very, very expensive town here. And everybody's already within their grinds. Everybody knows what they're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't even be here. And I'm going to tell you Zimbabweans right now. If I see Zimbabweans out here struggling, begging in the streets, as we always do with all Zimbabweans, we see struggling and begging in the streets in Stellenbosch, we send you out on a bus, you're going home. So for this lady, I had to find out who she was. I called, apparently she dated one of the Zimbabwean boys here. So I called the boy. I'm like, there's someone here. Apparently you were in love with this girl. She's pregnant, she's at the garage. Oh yeah, I know the girl. She lost her mind a few months back. She was doing modeling. I say she's pregnant and allegedly she's saying that a Nigerian is the father of this baby. He said, no, it's not true. I don't know if it's the truth. He said, no, but I was seeing her after she dated the Nigerian guy. But in her mind, she's saying it's a Nigerian. So I don't know if she went to other Nigerians after this boy. What is this? This is a young girl. Her future is gone. Her mind is not correct right now. So I urge Zimbabwean government again, Zimbabwean embassy in Cape Town, please contact people like myself so that we have some sort of contact. I'm busy all the time, every day, trying to make the company bigger, trying to do other things. So I cannot really be driving back and forth to the embassies to try to help all people. But if there can be a channel that I can communicate with to help our people repatriate back home, that will be appreciated. This lady, she needs to go home. Not only go home, but she needs to go home and go into an institution where they can work with her mind to understand actually what went wrong. Because something definitely went wrong with her. She's spitting almost every 10 seconds. If not 15 seconds, she has to spit. So I don't know what is that. And according to herself, she's like, something within her. The child is fighting her. If she goes to Zim, the child fights her, so she has to be here. I'm like, nah. This don't sound correct. So we have got mental issues now. People have got mental problems. Zimbabwe, we've got a lot of problems. Youth pregnancy crisis. Zimbabwean young boys and girls, 15, 25, even 15 to 30, don't get each other pregnant out here. You can't afford it, one. You may not be able to document that child, two. You don't even know where you will be, three, when you're giving birth to that child, if you give birth to that child. So there's a lot of things that are problematic at this stage. And I also urge my fellow sons, brothers and sisters to refrain from personal attacking me, for example. I don't know you. I don't wish to know people on a personal note. I am who I am. The government of South Africa knows exactly where I am. The police, every department knows how to find me. So let them deal with me. I'm not want to deal with public. And I don't want to mute everyone who's just like out here trying to be funny. These things are getting tougher and serious here. So I urge respect as I respect y'all. Freedom to choose. Don't guilt trip me. Don't try to blackmail me. Oh, you go and build this. You know I don't have no capacity to build Zimbabwe. I don't have the keys and the gates to anything that has the capacity to build that country. So how dare you say I must go and build something I can't? I can build with the help of this government, Zimbabwe. If they call right now and say, Lib, there is a budget for you. Here, I have documents, everything ready for them. So don't dare me on things that I'm not in a capacity to do. Zimbabwe is how many people? 12 to 13, 15 million people. How does one person change that? So poor politics must not differ from the real problems here. We can vote all day, day in, day out, as we've been saying. But there has to be a real change here to things, so that even this freedom can mean something for an African child. This little girl will not have mental issues. So I need to find a way to actually have proper connection with the Zimbabwean embassy in Cape Town, so that if people are recognized right here in Stellenbosch, there's a quicker way of repatriating them back home and putting them in institutions or situations, help them with employment, structures like that. So this is something that we need to take seriously. It's important. I wasn't supposed to come and be like this on this, but Zimbabwe, let's think wisely about what's really going on here. You know, I'm never gonna say I told you so. Yeah, I don't want you to say Lib is right. Lib was right. What I say. What can you do to change your situation? As I said, Canada every week now, almost every 2-3 days, they're in my emails. They're like, Lib, just get here. I can pack up and go to any country. Literally, I can go to Malawi. I can go to Zambia. I can go to Zimbabwe. I can go to Germany. I don't have no child. It's Lib and his router boards and my help to the people. So don't personally attack Lib. Never gonna understand Lib. Always be a mystery to Yao. It's part of that alienness. Spiritual confidence.